All right, it is 7:27. We are freezing our off. We're leaving in 3 minutes. How you guys feeling?
Order stop.
Cold.
Filia. Filia. How you feeling?
4 and 5. R8 will be given out.
Today is going to be a different vlog than what we had planned. I had originally planned on just showing you footage from the half marathon that our family ran yesterday. And it was going to be all epic. There was going to be these amazing moments where it felt fun and optimistic. And then there was going to be this like valley where it was like, oh, despair, are we going to do this? And then it was gonna pull out at the end, and then there was gonna be this like heroic, victorious moment at the end. But the problem was, running the marathon wasn't actually like that.
It felt like a really long run for us, like normal run, but it was really long.
So I thought we'd spend this time instead to just share our day with you and kind of what went on behind the scenes.
There's a split sign and some signs indicating that the 15K.
So a half marathon is 13.1 miles.
Our 4 older kids, I think, were like, we got this, we know we can do this. This is like our 3rd or 4th half marathon we've done.
All right, how you feeling? One word.
Cold, scared, a little bit pumped, excited.
But the big question was, can Filia do this?
How you feeling in one word? You gotta be loud.
And honestly, guys, the big question for me was, can I do it without completely melting down?
Feeling one word.
Nervous. Because this is only the second half marathon I've ever done, and the first half marathon I did, I was literally half a mile, I think, from the finish line, and I started to melt down.
And the temperature was crazy low for a 3-hour run. We've run in the cold before. That's not a new thing for us, but 3 hours, 3+ hours in sub-freezing temperatures.
Set, go!
Have a great night.
There's mile 1. In a race, there are a ton of different people. I mean, there's like your sporty runners who are like taking it pretty seriously, and you can tell like...
That's the majority of people, I would think.
And then there's this whole other group. There was this one guy in particular that was like, he kept on passing us. He looked like he could hardly walk. And these are the people that are really inspiring to me, because you see these people and you're like, what the f is anyone's excuse to say that they can't do this? All right, we're coming up on mile 2. Look at that, the sun came out finally. They have salt on the ground for the ice.
We're coming up to mile 3. Filia has a special candy that she earned, and we told her that she can eat it whenever she wants if she finishes this race and doesn't give up. And she's really pumped about that.
Coming up on mile 4 here. And right here is mile 6. We are almost halfway. On this race, the hardest thing as a dad is not finishing the marathon. It's actually knowing if I'm making the right decision with my kids. It's really hard because there's so many pressures coming at me. One is we've trained or ran for 6 months or a year, and I know that we can physically do this. 2 is I know there's a ton of people watching us and either thinking, oh, those guys are crazy, or oh, this is super inspiring. And to get caught up on either side of that, it all gets really hard. And I really want to make the best decision primarily for our children, and then for us as a family, and then the way it's going to look for people, or the message we're trying to share, or the ways we're trying to inspire people.
It's so easy to reverse that and make it the pressures of the people watching your foremost care.
This lady was like, I know, that little girl, she's killing it. At mile 7.
Thank you.
We are passing mile 8, which is really cool because that is the furthest Filia has ever run.
How are you feeling right now?
Good.
Are you tired?
Kind of.
Kind of? You want to keep on going, or do you want to stop?
I'm keeping going.
All right, we'll go. Onward! As we've ran over the years, I've seen this so much. We've done a lot of this, and my favorite thing to see in this race is the younger kids holding hands with us or with each other. And I think it's the best picture of what this whole thing is really about.
Yeah.
As parents, we don't believe that it's our job or the best thing that we can do is to provide our children with comfort. The best thing that we can do for them is to provide them with a valuable vision of where they're going to go, and when it's not comfortable, to always be with them and to never leave their side. And when you're running, it's just so cool because the kid will be going slower, or you can tell they're mentally kind of believing, kind of entering into despair, possibly believing lies and thinking, I can't do this. And you hold their hand, and it's like you feel your energy leaving you and going to them.
Yeah.
And things that they're wondering, they stop wondering. And they can just do it. Like they can run for like long periods of time when you're holding hands.
At one point, Ben was holding Filia's hand, and she looks back at me and she goes, Dad is pulling me. I am going at a good pace, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. And then I look back and I'm like, oh, my kid back there does not got this. That's my job. Okay, let's grab her hand. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I think you're like, really are pulling this other person along with you. When I first started running, it was really hard for me. And I would watch Ben hold hands with Memory first, and then now Filia, and help them on our normal runs. And I would tinker with that a little bit, and I remember thinking, oh, I can't do this. Like, this is too hard. And then a year later, I realized that I was doing what Ben was doing, and I got to a place where I realized that I was strong enough, I guess, for myself to be able to pass strength down to my kid.
We are coming into the city, and it is mile 9. That means we have 4 miles left.
It's a short run for us.
How you feeling? We can do this. I think we can do this. Okay, mile 10. We're heading over to Kentucky, first of all. But second of all, mile 10 is where I promised the kids we each get a piece of candy. Look at her, she took off the candy.
Ooh, this is my favorite. Thank you.
What mile is this? This is 11?
Yeah.
Mile 11 right here.
People spend so much time and get stuck on this question of, can my kids even do this? And usually their answer is no. My kid can't do this. My kid cannot run 1 mile. My kid can't run 2 miles, let alone whatever. We have asked that question a long time ago, I think. And we have decided, yes, our kids can do this as long as they're doing it with us. So therefore, we are able to put all of our energy into the question of, okay, now that we know they can do it, how can we do this together in a healthy way that will help them and all of us thrive?
What's crazy is I haven't heard one complaint this entire run from anyone in this family. The first mile, Filia said that her face was cold, and Cami just said that her legs are sore. But that's it.
My water was a brick of ice, so I squeezed it, and it like went in my face.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. This is mile 12. Mile 12 means we have 1 mile left. Can you do 1 more mile? How you feeling?
Good.
You're getting a little cold? That's okay, we got this. 1 mile left. Woo!
I'm really tired.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of tired too, Filia. We are almost there now. But instead of asking the question, can we run 26 miles or 13 miles? I think we always just started off with a different question. The question is, can we take another step? And I've always been surprised, so far, the answer for our family and each of our kids has always been yes. I think when we ask that question, we hear a lot of times, no, we can't take another step, you know, especially with our kids. But even in the beginning with us, I didn't know if I could run a marathon. My first marathon was like 4 years ago, way into my 30s. Running wasn't something that I did. Yeah. But we consistently ask that question, can we take another step? And if you don't think so, let's deal with and talk about that. And that became the biggest parenting issue that we deal with our kids. Not just with running, but with all of life, because there's so many things holding us back.
Yeah, I don't think we have settled for, no, I can't do it.
We are heading up this last part here, and I just found out that Filia didn't even bring her candy with her, so she's not gonna be able to eat it. She's gonna have to wait till she gets home.
Well, it's not that long until we get home.
I know, but I don't know if you'll be able to wait that long. We are coming up right now on 13 miles. Getting the kids across the finish line is not the goal. That would actually be the easy part. You know, I've seen different ways of parenting where you use fear or bribery or things just to get kids to do what you want them to do. My goal is to get the kids across the finish line, but to do it in a way where they are actually, they do it with a good attitude, and where they did it by their choice, and they did it through their decision-making process, not just out of fear. It's actually fear is the main enemy, not the tool that we use to get it done. So the biggest win for me is when we cross the finish line and I look down at the kids and I can see that they didn't do this just for me. I mean, they know that we're proud of them, I think. Mm-hmm. But I see the mental victories all along the way. And that's why, you know, crossing the finish line was amazing. But I actually think the difficult part happened for us 3 days a week for the last 2 years as we've run together as a family. As we've learned, I don't know, how to deal with ourselves.
Leah, we're almost there. You're doing so good. Oh yeah, I see. All of you.
The ultimate victory that we've experienced through running, because it introduces pain, it brings this question: how can you experience being content and satisfied and pleasure even when there's physical difficulty?
I was kind of dreading running. Waking up early, it's super cold. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be super hard, blah, 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 blah. But I knew in the back of my head, because I've done enough of these hard things, I knew that there was gonna be pleasure in getting it done and actually doing it. And not pleasure in just sleeping in or just, I don't know, staying home. There is something to be said about, like, when you do something hard, you actually experience a certain type of pleasure that you wouldn't experience if you didn't do that hard thing.
My dad said if I finish a whole marathon and not give up, I could have my candy whenever I want.